Okay, so today, to deepen with ourselves, we're going to ask ourselves a question that you've probably heard before. It is, what do you get up for? What do you live for? What do you wake up in the morning for, to do? What drives you to get up in the morning? And this question kind of was bland to me. And, it seemed like, I don't see how it really leads you to as juicy of material as I was really wanting, because I like things to be like the heart of the matter, all the way down to the root. I mean, that's what makes it feel like truth or dare, because like the fun in truth or dare is that there's like the truth stuff is supposed to really grab at like a deep layer of truth that almost like takes your breath away. And so that's kind of what I'm after when I'm thinking of what makes a question interesting. And I didn't see that at first here, but what I started to realize is that it had more to do with like layers, and I had to hang with it some more and ask some more questions and pull back the layers. I couldn't just go with like my first answer. I had to like pull each one of those apart some more and like really get down to the root of things, where the real truth was and the honesty and all that. And then it got really juicy. Then it got interesting to me. So we're going to play with it a little bit and see if we can take it to that point. And I'll use me as an example and like how it went for me, because it's probably the best way to illustrate it. So like I said, we're trying to get at the root of things, where the heart of the matter is. So we gotta peel a little. So the first step will be answering the question, like answer the what do I get up for in the morning, and start answering. You're going to have lots of answers, well, maybe not lots, I don't know, but find as many answers, go through them, be kind of semi-complete about it. Do I get up for the beautiful smiles of my children. I get up because people at work need me. I get up because I love being a mother. I get up because I really want to see what life is all about, or explore what life could be, or, these are things. They start to come forward. But then each time you bring these out, kind of ask yourself, and what else? And what's behind that? And what's behind that? And what's behind that? And you might start arriving at other things, like, all right, and what's behind that? Like, and for me, again, like I said, I'm going to like kind of stop and use me as an example. When I start to say things, it's like, what do I get up for in the morning? I might say like puzzles and metaphors, and being a mother is definitely one for me. I don't know, like, dance, dance is another one for me. And so then I start to have these things, and that's not even as complete of a list, but like already I've got some. And the thing about the, deep curiosity about life, yeah, that's another one for me too. To do the best that I can. That's what I get up for. And like these kind of things, these are on my list. These are the things. And then I say, and what's behind that? And I might say like, okay, meaningfulness is kind of behind one of them. And then, and I just keep tapping around, and what's behind that? What's behind my, motherhood thing? What's behind that? Okay, well, maybe things like meaningfulness, but also maybe connection, maybe relationships. Maybe I'm interested in relationships and dance. Is that behind, is the relationships behind that one too? Or is that a different thing? Yeah, maybe it has to do with connection. Maybe it has to do with relationships. Yeah, maybe it has to do with meaningfulness, but kind of less about relationships. Or maybe it's relationships to the body and connection with the body. It's not as much about people, so then I start to ask myself, what's behind that? And then I get closer. I'm like, okay, yeah, because puzzles and metaphors, that's like relationships and connections, but, with the world and with life itself, and not necessarily just with the body. And then so I keep finding things. I'm like, all right, what is this? And what I kind of continued to whittle down, because I keep cross-comparing and like, what's behind this? And does that fit with the others? And then if it doesn't fit with the others, I kind of like get further down into the root, so that whatever I'm saying does fit with the others, so that I'm getting to one root where all of those things kind of come from. And I was getting close, as I was saying, like, it was like, all right, it's something about connection and relationship, but then relationship wasn't quite right because it was like always hanging me up. Like, is it relationships? Because I'm not just into every kind of relationships in the world, not like societal relationships, and a relationship equality. And, there's certain aspects of relationships that are not the thing. Even though I'm interested in them to some, degree, it's not the thing that I get up for. And then so I was like, all right, that word's a little off. What is it? And of course, right, I landed on this word that you've probably heard me say so many times that you have an inside joke in your own mind over like, how many times is this person going to say this word? But deepening, deepening. I got closer into like, all right, it's about deepening. And so it is about connection, but it's about deepening the connection. And yes, it might have to do with relationships, but more specifically, what relationships, what things? Okay, deepening the connection with the self, the relationship to the self, and deepening the connection with life itself. I started finding those things. And actually, it didn't quite go that way. At first, it was the self. It was like, okay, deepening the relationship with the self. Okay, does that come through with the motherhood thing? Like, is that what brings me into loving motherhood? And there was a yes there. Or like, is that what brings me into connection or like, inspires me with dance? Yes, deepening the connection with the self. Dance does that. But what about metaphors? Metaphors, deepening the connection with the self. Kind of, yes, it does, but there's something else in it, something else. Like, why do I love the metaphors? Oh, because they deepen the connection with life itself. Not just with the self, but with life as a whole. And in motherhood, I started to play with those too, because it was like, all right, so is it deepening the connection with the self and connection with life itself? And then, is that what I like in motherhood? Just deepening my own connection with myself or deepening my connection with life through being a mother? And then that was a little off because it wasn't just for me and the expansion and the deepening that I felt. It was like, I liked witnessing it when they did it, when my children do it. That's what I like about motherhood. So then I started to realize, okay, it's actually the very act of deepening one's relationship with the self and one's relationship to life itself. It's not specifically me. And that is, oh man, when I got to there, I was like, yes, we found it. That is the thing. That is the root. Because that is exactly what I love about being a mother. It's like, because it's my sacred honor or something. Like, I have been given the honor of being the guide to these two beautiful little beings as they embark upon their journey to deepen their connection or relationship to the self and deepen their connection or relationship to life itself. It's like they're deepening their understanding of themselves and their understanding of life itself. That is what I get to watch them do. That is what maturing and living life is. And I get to be sort of the witness. I'm the guide, yes, but like only to a certain point. I just get to witness it. I get to see them on this journey, all of it, especially the big cruxes of like deepening into what they see themselves as, who they are, and how they understand life. And that's what I love about it. And that's what I love about metaphors, puzzles, dance, any of the things that I named, even my curiosity about doing my best and living my best life possible. It's totally having to do with that root of deepening the connection to the self and the connection to life itself, and are deepening my understanding of both of those things. So I found my root like that. And it was really, I don't know, it was kind of relieving. And like I said, that like take your breath away stuff, because you've gotten at the real heart of the truth or dare question, the truth question for sure. And I don't know, it's like solving a puzzle. And of course, I just got through saying that I love puzzles. And yeah, so that was really satisfying to me. And it gave me a lot of information. Deepening is the thing here too. It's like, I mean, deepening definitely happened because then I was able to just like have this whole new perspective on a lot of aspects of me. Once I got to this like root of why I get up, what drives me in life, what am I living for, I can even just see little things, little nuances that I find fascinating and informative about myself, like what type of mother I am. I mean, I can imagine that there would be other women that would say motherhood is being a mother and all that is what they wake up for. But theirs might be with a different root. Like maybe some other mother, her root is like, you know, being of service to others or something like that. And, you know, that would make her a different kind of mother than me, because mine is about witnessing them deepen themselves and understand life to a greater degree and like get in better connection with life itself, sort of thing, you know? So of course, you know, I'm going to be the type of mom that asks my kids all these deep metaphorical questions, and like that's my driving force in motherhood. That's what I find beautiful about motherhood, is this like experience of deepening as humans and like expanding ourselves and that whole personal growth thing. I mean, I guess, you know, that's like the element. And that would be really different than a mother. And it makes sense. I feel that. I feel that when I meet other mothers, like, oh yeah, you know, she's a mother and she values it too, but hers is from this angle. And it just kind of affects how she's in it. What's her driving force in being a mother? And, you know, of course it'll affect her parenting, it'll affect how she interacts with her kids, but it's like, what is her motivating point? What is that driving fuel? Because her fuel is slightly different. And I find that to be really valuable information to kind of explore and eye-opening about yourself. You know, you're like only know yourself in comparison with others. And I don't know, it was really cool and insightful information, especially coming from this question that I had previously thought was pretty stale and pretty boring. Just like, what do you get up for in the morning? What motivates you in life? You know, just because the answers came, but they just didn't seem to be that stuff, that meaty stuff that I was after. But man, if I really stayed with it and played with it further, like I'm telling you to do today for your game, I found some really cool stuff. And it really was like, whoa, I actually know my root reason now. Like my root reason, the thing that I live for. And I keep testing it. Like anytime I come up with something that I like, or anytime I feel inspired, or anytime something really hits me and makes me feel all touched and motivated and full of energy, I keep testing it to make sure, like, okay, is it my root? Is it my root once again? And so far, so good. Like it's always that root. It's like, yeah, man, I can see it's that thing. It's that deepening the connection to life itself and deepening the connection to the self. And that was mine. It doesn't have to be yours at all. You can tell mine, man. I was like, dead giveaway. You guys are like, why are you so shocked by this? I could have told you that. I've watched your videos at this point and I've heard you say those words over and over. And like, yeah, absolutely. You know, sometimes others can see you better than you can see yourself. And maybe I should have known, but it just really helped me to whittle down just the right words. So I really love it. I hope it's something that you're willing to stick with, and that you can actually get some of that like breathtaking, like moment of truth, you know, vulnerable feeling, you know, heart of the matter kind of stuff out of it.